Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video I will talk about notorious NKVD or the Soviet Secret Police. The People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs is unmistakably called as one of the main supports of the Soviet dictatorship in Russia. Over the years its functions evolutionized, from overseeing the work of local Soviets and counting the labor sources to propaganda and mass terror. The NKVD was an agency not of the state but of the party. USSR political organization was similar to modern Chinese, where a central committee appointed government to execute its policies. The central committee was ruled by Politburo, a decision-making body consisting of 11 to 19 members, so the NKVD served directly to that oligarchical leadership. It served the interests of the ruling group, which might not go along with the country's and people's interests. In the beginning of its foundation, 1917 and 1918, the NKVD was in charge of local Soviets foreseeing the implementation of policies, and it was in charge of proletariat peasantry police. Later, it was in charge of construction, industry, veterinary, archives, fire department. In short, all offices which could not be easily organized were sent to the NKVD. But in 1934, Stalin united all offices associated with governing under the NKVD roof. However, under Stalin, NKVD became a secret police, serving only the interests of ruling elites, embracing nearly all the adult population of the USSR. The NKVD was an organization independent of government system in the USSR. For example, the Council of Ministries, and in particular Minister of Finance, did not know the structure, nor the personnel, nor the utilization of the expenses of the NKVD. The NKVD had no right to spy against the Bolshevik party, as it directly answered to the party for its activities. Nevertheless, a department within NKVD's secret political section was responsible for liquidation of all and any divisionists within the party, beginning with the old-time Trotsky supporters and ending with originators of cringing before the West. The Great Purge from 1934 to 1939 showed that the NKVD could be used against the party as well as it was used against the people. The NKVD increased its power through spying and extermination undesirable party members. In order to put the NKVD under the thumb of Stalin, he used his own private apparatus, Stalin's Secretariat, to control the NKVD members. The NKVD had its own armed forces independent from the regular army of the USSR. The mission of the NKVD armed forces was to support Stalin's power within the country against internal enemies. Its border, internal, and escort troops were better armed than the regular army, as their fighting ability was much greater. The NKVD had its own court system independent from the regular court system, completely subordinated to directives from the highest Communist Party organs. The functions of arrest, prosecution, and adjudication were often in the hands of one and the same official. The entire field of political crime remained the sphere of the NKVD, and it operated the sphere as it wished, with no control or accounting except to the dictator in the Kremlin. However, the more important political cases remained in the hands of NKVD only during the preliminary investigation, after which they were decided by the high party leadership. The NKVD operated all numerous concentration and labor camps called Gulag. Through Gulag, NKVD became a slave owner and colonizer of Arctic regions. The last peculiarity of the NKVD was its activity with the outer world. It used terroristic and blackmailing functions against anti-Soviet organizations outside of the USSR. In the 30s, the NKVD subordinated the police in order to protect the Soviet state and its leaders from the country's political enemies. This development started social disorder and mass repression campaigns. Campaigns of mass repressions were associated with dekulakization in the early 1930s. The party's attempt to destroy organized class resistance in the villages. The NKVD confiscated property, executed, imprisoned, or exiled of supposedly rich peasants or kulaks, the anti-Soviet elements. After 1933, the NKVD focused on cleanings in major cities. The range of groups which police and the NKVD regarded as potentially dangerous broadened. During the decade, the NKVD applied methods of mass repression against an increasing number of ethnic and national minorities, as well as criminal elements. Some observers believe that resolving problems of social order happened due to Soviet's rapid industrialization, provided a major motivation for the mass repressions. Others argue that mass repressions were a response to a threat of war. The threat of war shaped leaders' perception of politically suspect populations as the social basis for a potential uprising in case of invasion. The mass repressions reached their apogee in 1937 and 1938. The Great Purges were associated with the names of Genrikh Yagoda, Nikolai Yezhov, and Lavrenti Beria, the chairman of the NKVD. In the next video, I will talk about their rise and downfall as the chairmen of the NKVD. That's it for today. Thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.